This is Matt for Boxing Social in association with William Hill, Empire Fight Sword. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Big Time himself, British Champion Fabio Wardley.
Hello, mate. How are we? Where did Big Time come from? I don't know how that started.
You know what I did? You pied me for years ago. It was when I first started. I remember you said, "Oh, we'll do an interview in like the next half hour." And when I clocked back on, you'd done about 3 in between, and I took it personally. I was like, "This."
I'm a busy man.
Aired me, but no, I'm only playing. Look, how's things? Last time, I think last time you were doing the rounds with interviews, you were having issues with obviously the Frazer Clarke situation, and now you're taking training. What's new? Where are we at?
Great question. It's in the same place we was, really. There's nothing concrete. We're spouting ideas. We're playing around with different options, different opportunities, different things we can do. The positive to take from it is that I'm in a good position, and it gives me a lot of options. There's different things I can do and different ways we can go down if we choose to. We're not locked into this British title route if that doesn't look like it's going to pan out, which for the time being does look a bit stiff at the moment in terms of being able to put something together for that belt. So maybe we look at other options. We're just floating around ideas at the moment. Obviously, like Ed said, the 29th of July is the date we're still aiming for. So that's still the goal, but obviously as time goes on, we get closer and closer. It does make things harder to put together and a bit less likely. So over the next few weeks or so, I should have a bit more kind of locked in, and we should know a bit better where we are.
You mentioned there a date in July. We'll go back to what could happen with your future, but in terms of dates, Whyte Joshua 2 looks like it's going to get announced at some point. Would you not wait for that date and maybe co-main something like that? Would that not make sense? Or can you not tell me?
Yeah, I honestly, as much of a lie as it's going to sound, you probably know more about that than me. I haven't actually spoken to Neil properly about it. I swear to you, hands on heart and everything, I haven't actually spoken to him. When I did last speak to him a little while ago, it didn't look that solid at that point, and I haven't really checked in with him about it since, to be honest. So that's not a date we've ever discussed. Not me and my team, and not me and Ed really, in terms of maybe pushing and going on if their fight ever does come off and going on that. That's not something we've even spoke about. So I'm just aiming for the 29th. I don't want to set on something else that may or may not happen. Whereas the 29th will be based around me. The plan is for me to headline, so it will be me in control of my own schedule in that sense, as opposed to maybe waiting to see if the AJ deal thing happens, and then if it does or doesn't, pushes me further, makes me wait longer. I'd rather be more in control.
Absolutely. You've got a situation where Frazer Clarke this weekend is fighting Marius Whyte. Obviously, someone who's been in there with Dillian before, and he's a durable guy. Someone who probably might take Frazer some rounds. If Frazer comes through Whack, obviously the time frame that you're wanting to get back out maybe a bit soon, kind of thing. But would you not look at that? If he comes through it okay and say, look, do you want to get this on, like, or are we going to continue to sort of go around the house? Because by all accounts, from what he's saying, it seemed a little bit out of his hands the last time. But what do you think of that fight? First of all, talk to me about the fight. Is it a good one for him?
Yeah, it's a much better fight for him. Much better. It's definitely Wacker's obviously. Don't get me wrong. He's relatively old now, relatively done. He had a win the other day, which was quite interesting. But he's at least he hasn't just rolled off the sofa. Is what I'll give credit to it. It's probably a fight that maybe should have come 2 or 3 fights earlier for Frazer as well. With the kind of track and whatever they want to put him on, and the way he's at with his career, they maybe should have these type of fights or this level of fight, this caliber of fight should have maybe come a bit earlier. But he's having it now, which is fine, and I think it will be what they were looking for when the whole kind of back and forth was going on between us all. That they say they wanted experience, they wanted rounds, they wanted him to push on and whatever else. So I think they'll get exactly that from it. I don't think he'll stop Whack. Whack's a very, very tough man to break down and stop. So I think they'll get the rounds out of it. For this stage of his career, yeah, it's fine. I think he just needs to stay on this keel now and keep pushing on these kind of, not so much these level of opponents, keep pushing on further. But this is a relatively good starting point and much better than the people he's been in with before.
Are you hopeful that if he comes through it, your fight can still happen, or is hopeful the wrong word, because obviously the whole saga kind of thing?
It's not something I'm paying too much mind to at the moment. Like I've done with that. One thing I don't like is people wasting my time. So you can go to the back of the queue for the time being. Just carry on, do your thing, have your career, fight whoever you want to fight, do whatever you want to do, but don't really bother me for the time being until I feel like I'm ready to entertain that again. To be honest, because like I say, it took about 2 or 3 months out of my career waiting around for something that their team pretty much knew was never going to happen in the first place. So what's the point? So I'm not going to be taking that risk again anytime soon. And when I do come back around, it'll be a lot more on my terms.
What did you make of the Prince Patel incident that you were made aware of earlier?
I was made aware of by who exactly? Who made me aware of that?
I asked you if you'd seen it, and you were like,
an anonymous source. I thought it was quite funny. To be fair, I don't. It's a shame it's such a short clip because Prince can be entertaining. So I wanted to see kind of what the whole episode of it and what he said and what he did and whatever else, enough to get him kicked out or removed. But it looked pretty interesting.
I think it's all to do with tweets, if I'm honest, and things that were said on YouTube videos that sparked it. And obviously, I'm assuming Frazer's just seen him and gone, no. God.
That's a bit unfair. Like if he's come and he hasn't done anything yet, don't get him kicked out yet. Don't just let him walk in the door and send him on his way straight away. At least let him kick off a bit.
Let him kick off a bit.
Yeah, go on. Oh, at least have a reason to kick him out. Don't just see him and send him on his way straight away. God.
I think he saw a lot of the things he said online, like because he went in a bit, and I think he just thought, nah. But
no,
God knows, it's a strange one, like them two beefing, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know. It's mad, isn't it? Yeah, no worries. What's going on there? Oh Christ.
David Adeleye, another victory the other day. He was someone who was being touted to fight you. You had that bit of a face off. It was a bit of a coming together at the Joshua Franklin press conference, I believe. They sort of came over and you had that whole, back and forth kind of thing. Is he a potential for you?
Yeah, he's a potential, definitely. He's in the conversations we've been having for what we're going to do after this fight. The road we're going to go down. Sorry. So he's definitely seeming next in line. I think that's if I was a betting man, when the board do call them mandatory again, I think that's probably who they'll point towards.
Yeah.
So it seems likely. So yeah, he seems like the next one up.
And you're happy with that fight? That's a fight that you're like, let's just crack on. Let's just have a big fight kind of thing, because it is a good fight. It is a good fight between the two of you.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with it. Like, it's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. Literally, the only thing I don't want is people wasting my time. That's the only thing. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do, what you've done before. If you want to fight, fine. I'll see you in the ring. No problem. Just don't fuck around. Just don't piss me about. It just gets on my nerves more than anything. So, but he seems up for it. He seems game. I think what's going to obviously help the situation is that BT and that are up for it as well, or TNT, whatever they are now. They're keen as well. So I don't think that we're going to run into the same problems that we did with Frazer and Sky and whatever else. So yeah, I think that should run relatively smoothly.
Good stuff. Good to hear. We like to hear about fights that are getting made rather than ones that fall through. Your plans for Ipswich, Portman Road, in the middle of the negotiations or at the start, Eddie, obviously I know you've done a lot of visits to the ground and things like that. I think Matchroom may have gone down, I believe. I'm just trying to rewind in my brain a month or so ago. Is that, everything that happened with Frazer, did that sort of scupper any plans to fight there? Was that the plan?
The immediate plans, yeah. Yeah, it did. It messed it up. It's like I said, Ed made the trip. He came down to little old Ipswich. He came down to the club. What?
I was going to say, so is that what makes this even more of a bind, or in your words, a bit of a piss take? The fact that that was there, like ready to go.
Don't,
All right,
don't. I was so that was probably one thing for me that was massive. I was like, it is there. It's on. It's. I've been. Ed's happy. They're happy. Everyone's happy. It's there. It's just there. You can have you can have a stadium fight in your like seventh fight or whatever it is. I don't know. Like, mate, like what's going on? Like that, the spectacle of it, the build of it, the money of it, and then whatever else. So yeah, that was what made it quite irritating.
because we obviously heard rumblings of it, and we didn't know whether, because obviously obviously you're there at Ipswich. You were there for the. So you did a bit of that Salt Bay thing, like what you did at the World Cup. You were bouncing on the pitch, weren't you, showing your face?
A few people said that to me, and I didn't actually see the Salt Bay thing, so I didn't actually know. People were going, "Oh, I thought you're right about Salt Bay." I was like,
I'll
"Hang
send it.
on,
I'll
what am I
send it.
doing?"
I'll send it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Send
I was getting involved with the celebrations, mate. I'm one of that team. My face is on the side of Portman Road. Thank you very much. I'm in there.
well deserved as well. Yeah, so obviously we were seeing obviously rumblings of that, and we didn't know if that was going to be for specifically that fight or if they were just talking about, because obviously Ipswich as a town, they're fully behind you kind of thing. But if that was in your immediate future, it makes even more sense why you'd be quite annoyed. But plans still there, obviously for the go ahead, maybe further down the line.
Yeah, don't get wrong. Like that opportunity is gone a bit, but in terms of doing it at some point later down the line, summer next year, whichever else, it's definitely still on the cards. 1000%. It's definitely an option, definitely an opportunity because everyone involved was more than happy to do so. Everyone was really excited about it, to be honest. Everyone was really buzzing. So we it's there, it's doable. Again, we just need the right fight at the right time with the right build. Um and all of that, and then we can get it on.
Your immediate future, the fight next month, what sort of level, caliber of opponent we're looking at?
I don't know. Are you free? July 29? What are you doing?
If you want to chuck me somewhere else, I said I've seen. If you want to chuck me a few bags, I'll happily take it. Well,
There's again, there's a few options. Like it's a variety. There's different things we're looking at. Like I say, we were initially looking at the British title route. It's looking less and less likely because we're unsure with Dave Allen if the board will approve. So that's a question mark. So that being a question mark leads us in other directions. So maybe maybe just an international opponent of some sense.
what do you make of Dave Allen? Obviously, he's in this and sort of another run, another comeback of it. He looks in terrific shape. Normally, when he goes when he sort of out of camp or out of season, he seems to be taking it seriously. I think he was there at one of the last shows, and he had a comment on Matchroom, and his thoughts on how a fight between you and him would go. What do you make of it? It's a good fight. It's a big fight.
Yeah, no, it is. There's interest. He has this weird cult following. I just wake up in the morning sometimes. I got like 4 messages from random people just putting rhinos in my DMs, and I'm like, what is going on? And they're so on it, and they're messaging me going, "Go on, fight Dave. You know you don't want it," and I'm like, what is going on here?
That's
So
mad.
he's got a lot of interest behind him. Obviously, he's got a lot of fans. He's got a lot of support. He's always been that kind of cult hero. So that fight would gauge a lot of interest. But again, there's question marks whether around the board are gonna or would approve him for the fight. Not just for the British title, but maybe for a license at all. I'm not sure. So we'll have to kind of play that one out and see where that goes. But like I say, if not, then there's other options, other things we can do, other routes we can go down. Like I say, I'm guessing the board are going to come with their decision on a mandatory sooner rather than later. So depending on the kind of restrictions of that, maybe we just go for a little international in the meantime, and then just pick up whoever gets put down for that mandatory whenever that comes shortly after.
Or non-international.
Or or yeah, or or you. I don't know if the board would accept that one either, to be honest.
Well, probably.
Oh, we'll
Anyway,
see.
look, we hope you get sorted out because it's dragging on a bit now, and I know you're keen to kick on. You've not been one who's sort of hung around. You've been in there with former world title challengers. You've captured the British, and I know you've got your sort of eyes firmly set on making history and trying to become world champion.
Mm, exactly, 1000%. That's the goal, and to do that, I need activity. I need regular activity as well. So I've been a very active fighter throughout the bulk of my career. I don't like taking too long periods off, too long a time off. I don't like having extended times off. I don't like having time wasted because it's especially valuable when you're in your kind of prime years. I'm not there just yet. I'm probably moving into them now, but time gets more and more crucial. And I just want to have them good fights as well. I want to have them big fights. I want to be in those big moments again, like the Nathan Gorman British title fight. It was a massive, not just a big fight, but a big event, like the occasion of it. And the fight itself was back and forth. And I just want to be in those again. I want to be in a scrap every now and then. So hopefully someone can step up and we can get it on.
Fingers crossed you get that space filled for July and you get back in the ring, and then you never know. Maybe the undercard of a bigger fight later on down the line if you can get back out. Look, Fabio, always a pleasure, an absolute pleasure speaking to you. We will catch up when you've got a bit more news, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Sounds good, bud. No worries.
Cheers, pal.